Well, hello there, my friend. We meet again. I hope you have had a terrific day. Have you had a terrific day? Has it been wonderful? Because if it hasn't, I want to see a manager. That's right. I want to see your manager. I want to do something about this. No, I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Hey, my name's Gavin. This is my channel. We talk about true crime. We try to cut past the fluff, the sensationalism. We are not going to succeed tonight, okay? This is only sensational, but I just can't help it. So I am going to just apologize in advance. I had to do it. We are talking about this woman. Her name is Paige Laudermilk. She's 34. She lives in Houston, Texas area. Her profession, you might ask, you are wondering? She is an embalmer. Now, before you are like, oh, she's only an embalmer. No, that is a skill. That is tradecraft. She is somebody who's skilled and has gone to school, got her education for this. But she got caught doing something that maybe on some level we all understand why she did what she did, but we can't condone it. We can't have this kind of behavior, guys. Okay? Now, the bright side is that we're not talking about murder here, which is good. We are talking about death. She is an embalmer, but we're not talking about murder. But we do need to set up some ground rules here, okay? We're going to set up some ground rules. First off, you guys are just going to understand it if I break into laughter because I can't help it. I'm going to try not to, but no guarantees. Number two, we're going to read an affidavit of probable cause against Miss Laudermilk. Hands caught in the cookie jar on this one. That's a bad metaphor. It's not. Okay, we're going to read an affidavit of probable cause. But there is a victim in here. While he is not a murder victim, he is a victim. He is 58-year-old Charles Roy Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez met his end. I don't know how. I don't know under what circumstances. I tried finding an obituary, but it is impossible with all of the stories that are out here about the story involving him and her. So I don't know the circumstances under which Mr. Rodriguez met his fate, but he did not know there was something else that was about to happen. You know what? I feel like we need the Dateline guy. We need the Dateline guy. Why am I blanking on his name right now? Dateline guy. Dateline guy. What is your name? Dateline guy. Keith Morrison. We need Keith Morrison. But little did he know that after his death, something sinister was happening. That's what we need here. We need Keith Morrison. I'm just going to cut to the chase here, okay? We're going to take you over to Acrobat. Now, I want you to put GF in your comments, guys, because I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Oh, we are going to be talking about parts of the human anatomy. We need to be delicate. I think I am going to say, I don't know, Frank and the Benjamin twins are probably what I'm going to use here because you know my video last night about a very important part of Madeline Soto's case was demonetized. Not very many people are ever going to see that. So I'm going to be very careful here. Okay? Frankincense and the Benjamin twins. That's what we're going to say here as we're reading this affidavit of probable cause. And I'm wondering, do you guys already know about, oh yeah, Cyber Sleuth Steph, you're helping me out. It's Keith Morrison. That is correct. No, it is not Chris Hansen. We don't need Chris. Oh my goodness, excuse me. We don't need Chris. We need Keith. We need Keith. Oh, that pesky DNA. Yes, 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 yes. Uh, Nicole says, I love your content. Please look into Matrice Richardson's case. Love your insight on it. I sent an email about it. Okay, I can't guarantee that I will, but I have seen your message. See if there's anything else in there. Saying hello from Iowa. Jess C says, I don't even want to see my manager. That's funny. Donna, hello. Jess, hi. Yeah, you guys are. I hope you've had a great day. You know what I did today? This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but for the first time in my life, I had to file a motion with a court all by myself as a member of the press. It was, it was a thing. All right, let's go over here. We're going to read this case. The affidavit of probable cause against Ms. Laudermilk. Here we go. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, before me, the undersigned Assistant District Attorney of Harris County, Texas, this is the Houston area, this day appeared the undersigned affiant who under oath says that he has good reason to believe and does believe that in Harris County, Texas, Amber Paige Laudermilk, hereinafter styled the defendant, heretofore on or about February 7th, 2025, did then and there unlawfully, without legal authority, knowingly damage a human corpse. This is the name of this crime is abuse of a corpse, right? We don't want people abusing corpses. In fact, abuse of a corpse is a crime that in most states was specifically written for funeral directors and embalmers and undertakers and so forth. That's the history of these. Not properly disposing of the corpse or doing things that would shock the conscience to a human body that is deceased. Uh, unfortunately, in the state of New York, it used to be just a very simple misdemeanor. But thanks to Amanda Lynn's law, that's the case of Amanda Winkowski, which you can find on Meal website. Let me go over to cases here. It's one of the first cases I ever looked into. Amanda's case goes all the way. There it is. Because of Amanda Lynn's law, because of Amanda Winkowski, it is a felony in the state of New York. But I digress. Okay. All right. It is further presented that in Harris County, Texas, Amber Paige Laudermilk, hereinafter styled defendant, heretofore on or about February 7th, 2025, did then and there unlawfully, without legal authority, knowingly treat in an offensive manner a human corpse. Here is the probable cause. Affiant Christopher Horan, a reliable and credible person employed as a peace officer by the Harris County Constable's Office, Precinct 1, has reason to believe and does believe that Amber Paige Laudermilk, and black female, date of birth 1990. These redactions I did because I didn't feel like email addresses or telephone numbers or addresses needed to be out there. Anyway, hereinafter referred to as defendant, committed the offense of abuse of a corpse on or about February 7th, 2025 in Harris County, Texas. Affiant bases his belief on the following. On February 19th, 2025, I received a written consumer complaint form from the Texas Funeral Service Commission sent to me by Norma Rodriguez, an investigator employed. It just occurred. I know that Rodriguez is a common name, but our victim here is Charles Rodriguez. Anywho, an investigator employed by the Texas Funeral Service Commission. According to the complaint, the person registering the complaint was documented to be Erica L. Menjivar, I don't know how to pronounce her name, who gave her title as funeral director in charge. Okay, so a funeral director has caused this complaint to be filed. I noted from the complainant that the email address from which the complainant originated was, and then I redacted it, Investigator Rodriguez advised me that Claire Brothers Funeral Home was located at this address in Houston, Harris County, Texas, and that Claire Brother Funeral Home also owns Memorial Mortuary and Crematory located at this address, Houston, Harris County, Texas. I also noticed from the complainant form that Erica Menjivar listed her address as, and then I redacted it. Menjivar stated in the complaint that on February 17th, 2025, employees revealed to her that Embalmer Amber Laudermilk, Embalmer Texas license number 119190. This is like a serious trade, guys. This is a good career path. Have I told you that my very first job was at a funeral home? I was the lawnmower guy. I was 14. I mowed the lawns outside, but oh my goodness, that was a scary job to a 14-year-old. Anyway, Amber Laudermilk with this license number had mutilated a corpse. She further wrote that Laudermilk had threatened the employees not to say anything and that they were scared to report the incident. Based upon the name Amber Laudermilk, I accessed TCIC NCIC and located Texas driver's license, and then I redacted the number issued to Amber Paige Laudermilk, date of birth, this date, hereinafter referred to as the defendant. I then interviewed Cicely Mata, who stated that she is the provisional funeral home director and embalmer employed at Memorial Mortuary and Crematory. I found Mata to be credible and reliable with respect to the facts of this case. Mata advised that on February 7th, 2025, she overheard a telephone conversation between funeral director in charge Menjivar, with whom she shares an office, and a relative of the decedent, Charles Rodriguez. The conversation detailed the division of the decedent's remains between the new spouse and his daughter from a previous marriage. Mata advised, this is our victim here, right? Mata advised that she then overheard the decedent's relative state that Rodriguez was a registered SO. Okay? SO. At the conclusion of the telephone call, Menjivar summoned funeral director Janice West into the office and conveyed the conversation she just had with the decedent's daughter, including the fact that Rodriguez was a registered SO. By the way, I went to the registry and looked it up, and I couldn't find it. I think probably because he is now muerto, right? He's not with us anymore, so the registry probably has been updated. But I did see a SOs in your neighborhood kind of a website that did list his name, his date of birth. It matched up, and yeah, it said in 2008 he had committed SA against a 31-year-old victim. So definitely not the best guy that walked the earth, right? He had victims, but in this case, he is the victim. All right. Mata stated, there we go, that within minutes after Menjivar conveyed to West the information regarding decedent Rodriguez, Brandy Morales, crematory director, approached Mata and told her she just witnessed the defendant cut off the decedent's frankincense halfway and stuff it in his mouth. Oh, no, it's not okay. It's not okay. Okay. Mata stated that the defendant was employed as an embalmer at Memorial Mortuary and Crematory. She stated that after hearing what the defendant just did, Mata grabbed West and went to the crematory to look for themselves. Mata stated that she realized that the decedent Morales was speaking about was Charles Rodriguez. Mata stated that when she saw the body of Rodriguez in the cremation room, she noticed his frankincense and Benjamin twins had been messed with, let's say, and that his frankincense indeed was in his face hole. The affiant interviewed Andrea Sanchez, who stated that she is employed as the provisional embalmer at Memorial Mortuary and Crematory. I found Andrea Sanchez as a credible and reliable person with respect to the facts of this case. Sanchez stated that as a provisional embalmer, she must be trained by a licensed embalmer to fulfill the requirements to be a licensed embalmer. Sanchez stated that she has been employed at Memorial Mortuary and Crematory since November 2024, and that on February 7th, 2025, she was prepping an unrelated decedent supervised by the defendant, Ms. Laudermilk. This is our defendant. This is the only picture I could find of her, by the way. This is a picture from like her preliminary hearing or her arraignment or something, right? So this is her. Okay, where are we? Prepping a decedent supervisor. Okay. Sanchez stated that she noticed the defendant then help Brandy Morales remove a medical device from another decedent who turned out to be Charles Rodriguez. Sanchez stated she had been told by funeral director Janice West that decedent Rodriguez was a registered SO. Sanchez stated that she then witnessed the defendant stab the decedent Rodriguez twice with a scalpel in the groin and then remove his frankincense and place it into, again, the main hole of one's face. Sanchez advised only she and Morales were present when the defendant removed ye olde frankincense. The defendant told Sanchez, "You didn't see anything." You know, you didn't see anything in a manner Sanchez perceived to be as threatening. You know, she's got a face that is rather threatening, I gotta say. Affiant interviewed Brandy Morales, crematory director at Memorial Mortuary and Crematory. Give me a second here, guys. All right. Who Affiant believes to be credible and reliable with respect to the facts of the case. According to Morales, on February 7th, 2025, she was preparing her first decedent for cremation at approximately 10 a.m. Morales stated that her first decedent was decedent Charles Rodriguez. Morales advised that prior to placing any decedent in the retort, crematory equipment, the decedent must have all metal objects removed. Morales stated that she was not sure how to remove a medical property attached to the decedent's thigh. Morales stated that she asked the defendant for assistance in removing the device. Morales stated that she noticed her co-worker Sanchez giving her a blank stare, so Morales requested Mata to look at the decedent and to bring West, the decedent's funeral director, into the prep room. Oh, her little not so innocent practical joke was about to be found out. Morales stated that in the short time awaiting the return of Mata with West, Morales witnessed defendant cut off decedent Rodriguez's frankincense and place it in the old mouth hole. Oh my goodness. Affiant interviewed Janice West, funeral director at Memorial Mortuary and Crematory, who Affiant believes to be credible and reliable. On February 7th, 2025, West advised she accompanied Mata into the crematory prep room and noticed the defendant. I'm not sure that I can say that word on YouTube. I'm going to say messing with the mouth of the decedent, and shortly thereafter she noticed that the decedent's frankincense was in his mouth. West stated that the decedent's lower nethers looked disfigured and asked the defendant what was going on. West stated that the defendant responded by quickly covering the area with a towel and stated that the decedent had, quote, a lot going on with him. Yeah. Yes, Amber. I would say after you did what you did, there was a lot going on with him. Yes, indeed. Affiant showed the associated photograph belonging to Texas driver's license redacted, issued to Amber Paige Laudermilk, to Janice West, Brandy Morales, Erica Menjivar, Cicely Mata, and Andrea Sanchez, who all positively identified her as the person who did the, what is, this would be Rush Limbaugh. No, I shouldn't say that. Who performed the procedure on decedent Rodriguez, placing it into his mouth. I do not want to say what Rush Limbaugh used to say. That is very crass. Very crass indeed. Oh my goodness. What's funny is that most, like, I was just going over, okay, let me think this through. There were two cases that recently lost on appeal here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. They were murder cases, and the defendant was convicted, and in one of them, he was convicted of this crime, abuse of a corpse. I see this kind of, in fact, the other one that, the Keaton Morrison case, where he was the little boy that was put into a bag and hidden away in the basement of their home. I've told you about him before. He's a local case. So sad. That was one of the charges, and it was one of the charges that Mr. Stribling Jackson, who was convicted in that case, he was convicted of that charge too. So I see this abuse of corpse charge quite frequently. I never see it when it comes to funeral directors, embalmers, undertakers, and so forth. And here we are with a case out of Texas where the law is being applied for exactly what it was invented for. Crazy. All right, let's go over to your comments here, guys. Goodness sake. This is, no, Gail. No, Gail. Into the decedent's mouth. Yes. Wow. Okay. You guys are saying, yeah, lots of Franken beans. I decided to go with frankincense and Benjamins. Lots of everybody's saying, say it. Yeah, he was already passed. Oh, that's what we should call it. The bobidectomy. We could, or the laurinectomy. Let's call it the bobidectomy. The bobidophamy. Let's call it the bobidophamy. Yes, she performed that. Analytical one, you really need to know you can trust professionals, even morticians. Indeed. Yes. Cat H says, those who've been SA'd can understand the mindset, but most are still sane enough not to carry it out. Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, even those who haven't been SA'd and sympathize with those who have, we understand it. This is Schadenfreude, right? This is exactly what Schadenfreude is, that desire for bad things to happen, either equal to or worse than what somebody deserves, right? It is such a human emotion, but we can't have it. We can't have it. We definitely don't want to do that. Lori Dean says, my daughter taught my grandsons to refer to their lower regions as Tinker and Bells. Oh, that tickles me. That tickles me. I love it. I love it. Oh, Kevin Hartman says the obituary is posted above. I probably won't be able to see it, but I will. I will try to find it. Let's see. Yeah, Chatterbox. She is unhinged. Muddled Jen says, as a former licensed funeral director and embalmer, I am horrified. Yeah, we don't want this happening. No matter the deep feelings of justice that many of us are feeling right now, we do not want it to happen. We do not. Weirdo is from Louisiana and loves me. Hello, Weirdo. My love right back. One man's trash, another Mr. Story. Indeed, we're talking too much about this stuff. Yeah, the Benjamin twins. That's what I decided to call it. Mary Wilson, Gavin, I love your coverage and that you interact with us. And I feel you truly appreciate your members and unsubscribed watchers. I do. And thank you. Yeah, frankincense and the Benjamin twins. Yeah, well, I was thinking Frank and Beans, but then as a theater lover, I go back to Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Like, there were no F names in the Bible, so Ma named him frankincense because he smelled so sweet. Come to think of it, maybe frankincense wasn't the right. Yeah, right. That wasn't the right name. Come on. Okay. See if there's anything. Oh, somebody gave some gifts. Let me get back up there. Almost missed it. There it is. Cyber Sleuth Steph gifted a membership. Thank you for doing that. That is awfully great of you. And yes, we do call our members fishies. Let's see. Just go bob off. I like bob it off of me is a good word. Gavin, is this going to trial? Well, listen, Cooler by the Lake, thank you for asking a serious question. This is going through the process for sure. It just happened. This was filed a day and a half ago. So yeah, I think it'll make its way through the justice system. Jojo Fosho Show gifted a membership. Thank you very much for doing that, Jojo. Shay asks, Gavin, so will she end up in a penal institution? But very nice. Oh, no pun intended. That pun was definitely intended. Definitely intended. See if there's anything else. Jojo Foshosho says, Gavin, I bet you have some creepy lawn mowing stories. Funeral homes make me uneasy. You know what's funny is my sister ended up as a funeral director at that funeral home later on. And it was owned by friends of our family. They were gracious to give me a job when I was 14. Mow lawns. It was a great job. It was awesome. But yeah, going in to get the keys to the shed, to get the equipment out and stuff, I didn't even have to come close to anything like the embalming room or the prep rooms or the cooler or I didn't have to go close to anything. Oh, and punch the time punchy card. It was a little farther inside. It was scary. It was scary, but I did my best to avoid all that stuff. Mom taught us the proper name is Ding Dong. God's secretary's teasing. It's totally cool. She really does not want her face shown when the only picture of her, she's in those sunglasses. Yeah, she's trying to cover it up for sure. I think bobidectomy applies here. Yeah, I just like the off of me. I like the off of me thing. Bobidectomy, bob it off of me. I think it's good. Well, we'll see what happens with Ms. Laudermilk. See if anything happens to her. It's a serious crime. It's a serious crime, and we don't want stuff like that happening. Let me take you back over to the website real quick as we kind of come to the end of our live stream for the night. If you go over to my website and click on this little button right here, that is where you can contact me. There is also a link in the description below if you want to drop me any files. That is there. I enjoy it when you guys send me stuff. The fish tank, you can find it by clicking on this little guy. That is where we are on Facebook. Come join us on the fish tank. We're a growing little community there. And thank you to Jamie and Pat and everybody that manages the fish tank, and for all of you who interact with us and have a good time with us there. We will be back tomorrow, last day of the week. It feels like a short week because I missed a day this week because I was working on the video that I did that was all the interviews of Jennifer Soto. We might come back to Jennifer Soto tomorrow, the Madeline Soto case. I've been reading through some stuff on the docs that we got that they're not new, but I haven't covered them here on the channel. We might be doing that tomorrow, but we definitely will be back tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern time. So set your clocks and join the fish tank. You'll get a notification. All right. If you do that, you'll get the notification. And, because I know that YouTube doesn't notify all that well. Okay. With that, guys, if you were having a bad day before, consider this my conversation with your manager. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I will see you tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Until then, I bid you adieu. Take care of yourselves. Good night. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.